Did you know the skills you brought with you to the US? Those ones often dismissed back home that we regard as nothing could actually be your fastest ticket to earning real income in this country. In this video, we'll reveal the high demand skills that are desperately needed in the US and share powerful stories, including ours, about how immigrants are turning often overlooked talents into thriving businesses. Stay with us until the end for actionable step-by-step guidance on how you can register and launch your own business and start making money faster than you ever thought possible.
Welcome to Catch Talk for Immigrants. I'm Christine and my beloved is
Wachuku, Vidal Wachuku.
A special shout out for about 50 new subscribers. We are so glad you joined us. Now, let's get started. When we first arrived in the US, we didn't know the value of having the skills we consider blue-collar jobs back home. You know, those jobs that were like, oh, God forbid, I cannot do those type of things and all that. Like many immigrants, we thought the $8 to $10 hourly linear jobs were the only ways to begin the grind before finally getting into the career path. We believe if many immigrants knew that the skills they bring with them are faster paths to earning real income, they would immediately begin utilizing them.
You see, this country is a country of immigrants, right? Immigrants like you and me that came from Africa and from other continents. And you know what? A lot of these immigrants, particularly just south of us here in the US, the Latin American people, they come with these skills and they've turned them into thriving businesses here in the US. Listen to one of our friends and associates, Gustav. He was also a guest on My Financial series.
In the morning, he goes to my children's room, looks at it, says, oh, there's a leak here. He goes to his car, picks up something, repairs a small flap. Mr. Achu, your bill is $350, 22 minutes, 14 seconds later. Repairer, the guy comes, looks at the fridge, and he says it's going to cost $800. Right? I get the $300 from the warranty people. I add $500 to it. I get the repairer. He comes over. Within 20 minutes, he has ordered the compressor chamber. He comes in about 19 minutes, 40 seconds. He changes the chamber, and I drop him $800. The chamber is about, I can't remember, maybe $450 or something, right? I get chatting with this guy. I say, hey, how many appointments a day do you have? He told me on bad days, he has about 7 appointments. On good days, I could do about 11, 12 appointments. I said, really? He said, yes. I said, okay. Now it makes sense to me. As we walked out to drop him off, because when he came, he told me he was a little bit delayed because his truck had a problem, so he had to use his wife's car. And as I walked him out to his car, he had to jump into his wife's Cadillac Escalade. I understood why, because within 19 minutes, he has already made $450. As an IT professional at that point, I wasn't making $450 in 19 minutes. A guy who unlocked my lock at the storage when my key got lost, he came and messed up and opened the lock for me, right? Within less than 15, 20 minutes, I paid him $110. He averages about 7, 8 appointments a day. What are we about? That is $800 a day times 4. 800 times 4, that's about $2,400, no, $3,200 a week times 4 weeks. That is about $12,800 a month.
Wow, isn't that awesome? 19 minutes of work translates to about $450 whooping dollars. Yet, many of our African immigrants waste so much time and money racking up student loan debts to work jobs that will earn them anything between $20 to $40 an hour, when practical things like what we just heard can see you arrive at your destination faster than normal.
You see, it's because our people consider education the be-all and end-all. It's the white-collar jobs, not the blue-collar jobs. And those are the ones that can take you very fast. So before we go too deep into this, let me quickly state this clearly for those of you listening to us from Africa. If you plan to come to the US, I tell you, trust me, it will be more than worth your time and best interest to acquire some of these basic skills that we are going to be discussing shortly. Our educational system do not offer us those skills, and we look down at them at home because we think we're educated. It's not for the educated. So please take note of this. We want you to especially recognize this fact. Now, when we first arrived in the US in 2011 on religious worker visas, and those were the visas that brought us to this country. But before then, back in Nigeria, we were both lawyers, creme de la creme of society, as they would say. And we ran our own law practice in Abuja, though I was also an ordained minister of the gospel serving part-time in the ministry. But a few years after our arrival, the church that brought us asked my wife to get a job because initially they had said she wasn't going to work at all. She was supposed to be 50% of my ministry. Anyway, they asked her to get a job. And then knowing, of course, that she was not just a lawyer, but also had a master's degree in law, they naturally thought that finding a good job, good paying middle level job would be very easy for her to find. but
how wrong they were. Even administrative jobs, I felt I could get for where we quickly learned that while our qualifications were impressive back home, they didn't carry much weight here in the US.
Not in
we
America.
must undergo years of retraining and certification to work as lawyers or in any professional field. After desperately searching for a job that matched my qualifications to no avail, I started stepping down until I ended up working as a companion for the elderly, earning just $8 an hour.
Let me just whisper to you. It was just boy work.
Don't mind
it was more like boy work.
Don't mind the fancy name. Yes, you don't mind it. It was people washing their bathroom, cooking for them, and all that. America. See how I descended from being a lawyer of over 25 years at the time, with our own traveling practice to what was essentially a help. Let's just say it was a humbling experience.
It was.
How are the mighty fallen?
She was doing things she never even did in our own home because our kids were with us. Anyway, that just tells you America is truly the great leveler, no respecter of persons. I remember being treated by a nurse who had been a highly qualified doctor, medical doctor in his own home country. Imagine, from doctor to being a nurse. My uncle, who is a surgeon, once told me a story about doing an operation, and he had this surgical assistant. But the way he saw the guy was going about, handing him the correct instruments, chipping in one word or the other while the surgery was going on, my uncle was wondering, who was this man? So later on, he asked him, say, how come you know so much? But guess what? Alas, this man was a professor in his country of origin of medicine, of surgery, and he was even head of department in a reputable university in a European country. But here he was as a surgical assistant, just doing help work, helping the surgeon with instruments and things and here. That is what America does to professionals.
Yeah, but here is the thing. Why degrees don't transfer quickly? Skills do.
Yes.
Skills are king here. That's what we didn't know when we first arrived. Instead of going down the path of low-paying jobs like I did, Gustav, our My Financial Missteps series guest, shows how immigrants ignore what's important. Watch.
Some guy will come from Anambra State. Some guy will come from Edo. Some guy will come from Cameroon, from Senegal, from Ghana, from Liberia. His skill for 20 years was repairing shoes. And you come to America and now you are trying to go to nursing school. And maybe you don't naturally have the intellect to understand science. You are failing out, and then you start feeling humiliated. You start feeling hurt because you are not making it and you feel like you're being disrespected. Meanwhile, there is a skill that you have. You've developed for 20 years, and now you are in a country where all you need to do is to go on your community Facebook page, like my community here. That page has 7,000 people in my community. Yours probably have more in Fort Worth. You tell people that, hey, there is a guy here in this address who repairs shoes. Bring your shoes, I'll repair them. And start seeing the business coming.
Now that you've heard from Gustav and seen that, it reminds me of a neighbor we once had in Florida when we were in Florida, in the Orlando area. We were living in a pretty big house at the time. And this guy was even living in a house that was bigger than ours. And this guy, he was an immigrant, he was an electrician. We had a neighborhood gossip. And the neighborhood gossip was telling me that this guy was grossing 6 figures in multiples from just being an electrician. That was the skill he came to America with. And that's what he was using to achieve his purpose. Don't underrate that skill that you come to this country with. So let's start now with some of these skills. Let's go a little bit into details with a few of these skills. I just told you about the electrician. Now, auto repair skills. If you know how to do basic car repairs, oil changes, or detailing, welcome to America, the land that appreciates and pays well for such services. Think of all the people that need these services every day. You can actually start by taking care of your own car or cars yourself. This will save you lots of dollars, trust me. That money that you would give to somebody else to change oil for you, you can save it. Then you can offer the service to friends and family. And then you look at your community, your local community, and try to offer it to people in your community. Remember, you don't even need a full auto shop to begin. You can work from home or on site. And don't forget to use platforms like TalkTalk or local Facebook groups to find clients. I know that many people say that they don't like you. They are not on social media. Hey, you need social media in our modern world to thrive. I didn't like social media, but here I am on social media. But also, before I leave this point, I want you to note that in many jurisdictions, you may need to obtain relevant licenses. Make sure you get them.
Yes. You can make serious money here if you braid hair or offer hairstyling services from home. All you need is appropriate licenses. African, Caribbean, and even Black American communities, especially, they love braids, locks, and twists. And this isn't small change. For example, getting locks like mine done the first time costs about $600, depending on the length and complexity. My daughter did mine the first time. Some may charge a flat rate for specified hours. If it takes longer than the agreed hours, you pay extra dollars.
Yes, so that's America.
There's no free lunch here. And after that comes maintenance, like retwisting and interlocking every 3 months, depending on how fast your hair grows. My last interlocking session cost me about $240, and it was done in 3 hours. This only cost me an equivalent of about $20 when I did it during my last trip to Nigeria.
Do you remember I had even learned how to do this because I was going to help you do it, to cut the cost. But it's just that we were busy, so I couldn't do it.
You see the difference? If you conservatively have 2 to 3 customers a day, that is $400 to $750. If you work 5 days a week, that is $2,500 to $3,750.
Wow.
You could gross $10,000 to $15,000 in a month with little overheads. Very few professionals earn this much. And this is far better than my initial $8 an hour job, right? And yet I know how to braid hair and do all these things. If only I had known.
And also, barbers, you might say, Baba, what's in it? You are in demand if you can cut or style hair pretty well in this country. People will pay good money for convenience, particularly mobile services. If you offer that, it's a great way to start out when you want to do this kind of thing. Advertise on Instagram or Facebook Marketplace. I'm repeating that again. And watch how quickly your business can grow.
Home repairs are another gold mine. Whether painting, tiling, plumbing, carpentry, or general handyman work, these are also a gold mine in America. Remember Gustav's stories. All you need is proper certification.
Again, start within your community. or advertise on social media. You see, we keep on coming back to social media. Gustav also said that. And remember, referrals are everything in business. One satisfied customer can bring you 10 more. So your pro-tip here is always ask for a referral and get your clients to leave reviews online on your social media handles.
Now, let's talk about landscaping and yard maintenance. Many immigrants, especially the Hispanic community, offer lawn care, tree trimming, or landscape design services. We see them in our community here, in our neighborhood, and there are things that we can learn from them. People are willing to pay to keep their yards looking beautiful. Those living in communities like homeowners associations must maintain their yards, otherwise they could pay hefty fines.
And depending on the size of your yard or the lawn, you can charge anything between $33 and $100 per visit. Of course, it depends on the local circumstances of each community. But reliable and service and competitive pricing will quickly grow your client base. So if you are starting out, try door-to-door marketing or drop flyers at houses. We see them every time in our home here.
Yeah.
Through that, you can build a solid client base quickly, particularly if you are reliable, consistent, and offer competitive rates.
Yes.
Honesty also matters.
Now, let's talk about food. If you know how to make pastries or traditional dishes from home, there's a market for that. That's an area I'm good at, yet I didn't know to start this. I know how to make local Nigerian dishes, even though I'm not Igbo. I know how to make uwa, nkobi. I even know how to make kilishi. People love authentic African food, whether catering for small events or selling baked goods at local markets. Start by selling to friends and family or even church members. Once you gain traction, you can take orders online. Who knows? You might end up catering for weddings or big events.
And then the dollar starts rolling in. Reminds me of the woman. You remember we had to travel how long? Over an hour to go buy some of these things one time from somebody.
So we plan to buy kilishi, but we were told somebody came this morning and bought out the whole kilishi, so none is available for us. So this is the suya we got from the Osuma suya. This is the beef suya. It really tastes yummy. And the chicken wings, the taste is authentic. And this is the ram suya. Tastes nice. And this is the goat. I think they called it asun, the goat meat. Looks something like peppered goat or something, but it's called asun. Yeah, everything looks so beautiful and tasty delicious. I think the small pack of this asun is like $30. It's this small pack. And then this one is the medium for the ram. And I think that was like $80 for the medium. And the wings, the chicken wings too, is medium size. But it's like, I think this was 25, I think, 25 or 30. And the beef suya, which is just a small pack, even though we ordered more. But this is the small pack, which is 25. Yes, so that's it here. All right.
Another home repair skill is the ability to fix appliances or handle minor household repairs. You know, the type we'll always call somebody to come and do in our homes, back home. But here, with this skill, you can start earning right away. Remember, Gustav talked about the man who repaired his refrigerator and made $450 in 19 minutes. That man has 11 to 12 appointments on a good day and 7 on a bad day. Yes, I know the math. You are beginning to do the math. Let your imagination run wild. Let it motivate you. Let it challenge you if you have those skills. Now, what about other types of repair of skills? Cobbler, shoe repairs, watch repairs, computer and phone repairs, etc. Yeah, right?
Of course.
Those are things that you can also use.
Repairs cost a lot, and you will be in demand if you can offer a reliable, affordable, and competitive service. My husband fondly refers to me
Yes,
as
so I call her our
technician.
in-house technician.
Because I've used my skills to save us hundreds of dollars. I have unclogged bathroom and kitchen sinks, repaired or replaced toilet sink flappers. Recall how the
don't tell her how much I'm owing her. It's a secret. I'm owing her so much.
Recall how the man who repaired a leak in Gustav's home was paid $350 for a 22-minute job.
Oh, this woman has even fixed our oven coil. That was a complicated one. And I was shocked when she said she was going to attempt to fix it. And she did. This could have cost us up to $400. So now you are revealing my secret. I'm owing so much. I don't know when I'll pay her.
Well, at this time, we had no idea I could have considered certifying as a home technician rather than attending technical school to become a certified nursing assistant for only $9 an hour. And then racking up student loans to attend university for a bachelor's in nursing degree.
So you see our maliciousness, as we will say back in Nigeria. Knitting is another skill, one of those many skills that you can use. And talking about that, you see this was knitted by our daughter. She has very superb skills. We've also been encouraging her to turn these skills into money, and we think she's in the process of doing so. All of this was knitted by her.
Yes, and then see of the many things you can do with knitting, even knitting baby blankets and other things like that, which you can sell.
Anyway, so you see that the skills you brought with you, those skills we look down on, those skills we consider blue collar and menial, you see they are very valuable and appreciated in this country, much more than you could have ever thought. And they will put solid food on your table. Right? And you will actually make much more. Recently, I was just talking with a neighbor, and you know what she told me? She was in scrubs. So I asked her, I thought she was a nurse. I was just about telling her, oh, my wife is also a nurse. And she just told me that she's a cleaner. She cleans people's homes. And she was proud about it. But you needed to see her home. Her home is bigger than mine. You needed to see the car that she stepped out of. Forget all those fancy degrees. All these ones do not cost you those fancy degrees.
Yes, and getting started is not as difficult as you may think. So let's say Kemi, a talented head braider from Africa, decides to use her skills instead of working at a fast food restaurant. Let's walk you through how she can legally start her business. Let's call it Kemi Braids, right from her home in Texas.
First, Kemi needs to choose a business structure. For simplicity, she'll pick a sole proprietorship. Now, let's explore the steps to register her business name as doing business as, that's how it's called, DBA. Step 1 is to check name availability.
This step is to make sure Kemi Braids is available, the name Kemi Braids. Kemi can visit the Texas Secretary of State's website at the addresses on the screen. You can substitute Texas with your own state. Here, she will check if the name is already in use. If available, then she moves to step 2.
That will be to file an assumed name certificate. What she's doing at this stage is what we call a business name registration back home in Nigeria. Also, is here known as a DBA that I had mentioned before. She'll visit her county clerk's office. For example, if she's in Tarrant County, which is our own county, she can go to, you can see the address on the screen, okay? But substitute your own county and look for it, substitute it and go to it. This will lead her to step number 3.
and which is Kemi filling out the assumed name certificate form at the county clerk's office. This form asks for basic information like her name, her business name, and the address, after which she goes to step 4.
And this will be to pay a small filing fee. This fee actually varies from county to county and from state to state, but generally it's usually around $20 to $25. With that, she moves on to step 5,
which is obtaining an EIN, which is employer identification number. Even though it's not required for sole and proprietorships without employees, Kemi can apply for it from IRS to keep her personal and business finances separate. You don't want to mix what is personal with business. So she can apply online at the address is right there. Kemi can now open a business bank account with her DBA and EIN. This will be step 6, and it is crucial for managing her finances and building business credit for her to have a business account.
The Kemi should also consider getting liability insurance to protect her against claims that can arise during normal business operations. This is a litigious society, so you got to protect your back. That's where insurance comes in. Even though it's not required, it is highly recommended for her peace of mind. A small, low-risk business like hers could cost as little as $11 per month. Shop around, you'll get a good one. She could also get product liability insurance if she decides to sell her products to protect against a claim of injury from the product. Yes, she didn't make the product, but she's selling. So somebody could bring a claim against her. So she got to protect her back. That's what we learn in America. Now, she could also get general liability insurance. This covers claims related to bodily injuries, property damage, and personal or advertising injuries. If any customer slips and falls while getting her hair braided.
Yeah, it might be like, let me use your bathroom, and then going there's water on the floor and she slips and falls. Well,
yeah, because we've heard of stories of people who pour water on the floor in stores like Walmart, and then they slip and they want to sue them. Yeah. So, yeah, that's why it's important.
Following these steps, Kemi can legally start her hair braiding business, Kemi Braids, from her home in Texas. And it doesn't stop with hair braiding. This what we have taken you through the process is the same, whether it's plumbing, cooking, auto repair, landscaping, whatever skill you have. Just ensure your business complies with all local zoning laws and regulations. So, my people, there is no need to slave for someone else when you can work for yourself and keep all your money, except, of course, the portion that belongs to Uncle Sam. Because Uncle Sam is always there with his long knife to cut off his own slice. As they say, when you give someone permission to feed you, you also provide them the power to starve you.
So true. And it's also important to add that when you are running your private business, running a business, you can write off a lot of your expenses as business expenses. So Uncle Sam will not even touch you that much as against when you are an employee and you have a salary. Yes. You actually pay taxes more. Yep. So be wise. Now, if you do not have a skill, you could also still start a business by studying to get a license and joining our team as a licensed financial expert. You will earn much more if you are ready to put in the work. Now, this includes a lot of people from different facilities. I'm a lawyer, she's a lawyer and a nurse, and we are all in this business. You can also join. So click the link below to see if this will be an excellent fit for you.
Yes, and if you're curious about your financial challenges and how to turn them into opportunities by learning from others, you can watch this playlist right here. Just tap on the screen.
And we will see you in the next video.